Menkes disease is caused by inherited mutations in a copper transporter, leading to copper deficiency. In this video, I'm going to give you a visual way to remember the specific cause and presenting symptoms of this disease, so you'll be sure to get the right answer on test day. Now let's head to the park, where this scene will take place. First, take a look at this monk up front. That's me, on my morning stroll through the park. By the way, I'm a monk here to symbolize Menkes disease, since monk sounds a lot like Menkes. As a monk, I spend a lot of time in this park. It's just so calm here. And today, I'm tossing a copper penny into this fountain. Sometimes you gotta give a little to find your own inner peace. Pennies remind me of copper, and tossing a copper penny represents copper transport. And that's just great, because Menkes disease is caused by problems in copper transport. Now, see those coins at the bottom of the fountain? That helps me remember that copper levels are low in Menkes disease. Another way you can remember this is to notice how few copper coins there are inside the fountain. Altogether, the following concepts should be inseparable inside your head: Menkes disease and low copper. Question writers will tell you that copper is low in two different ways: either a reduced serum copper level, or more commonly, a low ceruloplasmin level. Ceruloplasmin is just a carrier for copper, by the way. Just thought you should know. So now we know that there's low copper levels inside the fountain. I want to contrast this against my satchel full of copper pennies. I've been collecting these pennies for years now. I know, I'm often told that my bag looks like intestines. The fact that I wear it over my belly surely doesn't help. You've got to put your money where your guts are? Anyways, this reminds me that the pathological defect in Menkes disease is an intestinal transporter located on the basolateral side of enterocytes. Put simply, the intestines can absorb copper from food just fine, but afterwards, they run into problems releasing or exporting this copper into the bloodstream. This causes a buildup of copper inside the cells lining your intestines, which you can just remember as my gut-shaped satchel full of copper pennies. But it's not enough to know that Menkes disease is caused by a defect in a basolateral copper transporter. As a medical professional, you need to know its exact name. Take a look at this heavenly statue gracing our fountain, sitting on top of a battery. Why is a battery here? Well, power for the running water has to come from somewhere, right? Or maybe the statue lights up at night. I don't know. What I do know is that this battery is a recurring symbol for ATP. And what about the angelic statue? Well, she's here to help you remember the number 7, since heaven sounds a lot like 7. Heaven for 7, get it? Putting all this together, this helps us remember ATP7A, the defective transport protein in Menkes disease. ATP7A is a copper export protein, which means that it uses ATP in order to pump copper out of the enterocytes and into the bloodstream. A defect in ATP7A means that gut cells cannot export copper, leading it to build up inside the intestines. Kinda like my gut-shaped bag, remember? Afterwards, take a look at this small cross in the hand of this statue. Yep, this fits right in. A small cross is our recurring symbol for X-linked recessive inheritance. And this cross should help you remember that Menkes disease is inherited in an X-linked recessive pattern. Great. So now that we've set the scene, let's take a closer look at who else is in the park today. See that college kid there? Just like any college student, he's trying to get that perfect graduation picture by the fountain. His college getup should help you remember collagen, the protein most affected in Menkes disease. Unfortunately for that college kid, everything just seems to be going wrong. He's having some real trouble with his cap. See that lace tassel? It's falling apart. Our college kid is trying to use a rusty clip to tie the lace back together. This lace and rusty clip should help you remember lysyl oxidase, an enzyme responsible for the cross-linking of collagen. Lysyl is represented by a recurring symbol for lysine, lace. And oxidase is in turn symbolized by rust, since rust is just a form of oxidation. Cross-linking of collagen occurs between lysine residues on adjacent collagen fibrils, symbolized by our clip bringing these two pieces of lace together. But why are we talking about lysyl oxidase in a video about Menkes disease? Well, that's because lysyl oxidase is a copper-dependent enzyme. And copper levels are low in Menkes disease, remember? So, in Menkes disease, the cross-linking of collagen by lysyl oxidase doesn't happen. And as you can guess, the lack of cross-linking greatly weakens the strength of collagen. This weakening of collagen then contributes to the clinical picture of Menkes disease. Let's talk about this clinical picture, shall we? First, notice our college grad's messy hair. It's been a bad day for our college kid, and his hair is no exception. His crazy hair probably comes from wearing that college cap all day. This crazy hair should also help you remember the hair findings in Menkes disease, brittle or kinky hair. This kinky hair is so characteristic that Menkes disease is sometimes called kinky hair syndrome. This crazy hair occurs since normal hair development also requires the function of several copper-dependent enzymes. Next, take a look at all those dead sunflowers by our fountain. Must have been killed by all that coin tossing. These dead sunflowers represent failure to thrive. Just remember that growth retardation and failure to thrive are frequently observed in children with Menkes disease. Lastly, notice this limp fish floating inside our fountain. You know how there's always fish inside these fountains? Well, this limp fish has been injured by all the coin tossing. This limp fish is also a recurring symbol for hypotonia, a symptom seen in Menkes disease. Children affected by Menkes disease have poor muscle tone and weakness, usually apparent by 1 year of age. And with that, I'll end my stroll here today and this video on Menkes disease. Let's recap real quick. Menkes disease is an X-linked recessive disorder of copper transport. This is caused by a mutation in ATP7A, which is a copper efflux protein found in the intestines. This causes low copper levels in the blood, but a buildup of copper inside the intestines. Low copper levels lead to defective cross-linking of collagen by the enzyme lysyl oxidase. The clinical picture of Menkes disease includes characteristic brittle, kinky hair, failure to thrive, and hypotonia in children. I hope this journey has been as enlightening for you as it has been for me. Until next time.